Peter Gray from the A Review. Hello, Robert. Hello, Eric.
Hey, Peter.
I'm just having a bit of a nice full circle moment with you because I actually spoke to you via Zoom for The Dry.
There you go.
And then I met you in Toronto for Blueback.
There you go.
So I'm like, now I get to talk to you in person for The Dry too. I was like, I'm having a nice moment.
You were at Toronto.
I was,
right.
Yeah. So I came to this
I remember
to
now.
Screening afterwards and just sort of had to say hello. So.
Yeah.
And you made my name a good thing back in the 90s for Poiter. So I have to thank you for that too.
You're welcome.
I was like, I never thought that'd be a thing.
And mullets, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, someone's got to pull it off, and you did it well.
That's right.
Congratulations for the movie. Last night, I mean, incredible cinema, incredible reaction. I mean, how's it been for you? I mean, we hear about Barbenheimer saving cinema, but essentially I feel like The Dry did it first, especially in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Is there that pressure then coming into a sequel when you're like, okay, everyone reacted so well to this, both like critically and commercially, and then you're like, okay, I'd like lightning strikes twice, so to speak?
I think what's exciting is when The Dry opened, you know, the pandemic had meant cinemas were shut. No one was going. Everyone thought cinema was dead, really. And I remember exhibitors were really worried. And The Dry came along and got people back. And it's a much healthier atmosphere now. The friends of mine in exhibition all talk about how over summer there's about 10 or 12 films that have attracted audiences.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating, isn't it? Sometimes, you know, last year the Avatar, half the box office, but this year 10 or 12 films. So people are going again and the audience is building. And I think that Force of Nature opens in that environment, which I love because we want there to be an option for Australians to go and see an Australian film, big epic Australian film with big stars and big story.
Yeah.
And it's great to be part of that and to be writing something. So it's different to The Dry. I think The Dry was more... And I think the world was at a crisis point in lots of ways. And we were, of course, delighted that it brought people back. But this is different. It's a different time. It's a different way of viewing films. But I love that cinema is doing really well.
And when The Dry came about for you, like, were you, I guess, purposely looking for Australian content, or was it just whatever story, wherever it happened to be in the world? Or were you, I want to make Australian stories?
No, I never think like that.
Yeah.
No, I think it's really dangerous. I think I could make some really bad decisions if I try to have a quota or felt a sense of responsibility in that way. I feel more a sense of responsibility to make sure that whatever I do is great or as good as it can be, and then we go from there. So I'd rather save my arrows for the stuff that I feel really, really passionate about. I think that's more important. And if we can make great films, there's more chance that it travels, and The Dry had an incredible success overseas and creates awareness for this one and hopefully for other Australian films. So I think that's more important than a certain number.
Yeah.
It's obviously a huge bonus when I get to work here because I live here, but that's never at the forefront.
Yeah. And you were mentioning last night how your wife is the casting director.
Yeah,
so
25 years, every film I've ever directed.
did she bring the name, did she bring Eric up, or was it because you two had collaborated so much that it was kind of like given that you were going to be the lead?
Yeah, we were already working together, but and Eric's a producer and a creative partner in the film with all of us in the Made Up Stories team. So, but when she throws up names like Deborah Lee Furness, then Eric and I sit down and go, wow, we didn't consider anyone else. Or Anna Torv, like, wow, can we get her to do it? We're both fans of her from Mindhunter.
Yeah.
And then new faces didn't even know about. Cissy Stringer and Lucy Ansell, or a great actor like Robin McLeavy who's been overseas. I didn't know she was back. And Jackie McKenzie and Richard Roxburgh, their mates. So it's a mixture of friends and new faces, but you know, she juggles all of those balls. I think Australian audiences love that though. I think they love new talent, experienced talent. They love people they haven't seen for a while. You know, so trying to get the kind of aesthetic of that in casting is something she's great at.
Yeah. When it came to the filming of it, we obviously saw that the first film is this kind of like desolate desert.
Yeah.
This film, complete opposite. Do you thrive in that environment? Like you go, okay, this is going to be really difficult, because we heard about how like every crew member, everyone was really working together in terms of getting it from one place to another, because this is a place that hadn't been filmed in before.
Yeah.
So do you find like that exciting, or is there a part of you that almost like what are we getting ourselves into filming here.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm passionate about it. I think location is critical. I've never filmed in a studio.
Yeah.
I enjoy taking actors and torturing them in a landscape. No, I'm kidding. But I enjoy the authenticity of going somewhere. Like, great thing with the recce on the dry, and we started driving out of Melbourne thinking, can we film an hour? Can we film 2 hours? Just Eric and I driving 3 hours, and you hit 4.5 hours outside Melbourne, and all of a sudden it's like, this is the landscape where we have to film. You know, it will be trickier. We'll all have to move out here. We'll all have to live out here. It will cost more. We'll have to make compromise. But in the dry, it works because it's based in that real world. And similar to this, it's winter, it's cold. Our location manager said that on the big Hollywood films, you're not allowed to have a location where you have to walk more than 50 metres to the trucks. You know, but we're talking about places where you're getting there under dark and walking 45 minutes into a valley that no one's ever filmed in before. So I think that is something that puts a twinkle in my eye and a spring in my step. So I have no issue with it. And in fact, looking to the future, I'm researching film set in the Antarctic. So come on, kind of degree of difficulty high.
Yeah, and as a producer, but as an actor as well, does it help when you know what it's like to be on the other side of things when it comes to like what actors are going to be put through?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, most definitely, and also, you know, we knew that we had to cast both actors and crew who had a particular makeup that they'd be able to cope with this and be challenged by it, but want to make that deliberate choice. You know, you're talking about crews that could go and work in a cushy studio for 4 or 5 months, saying no to that job to come and freeze their asses off for 8 weeks and get soaking wet.
Yeah.
You know, and would you mind doing that for us, please? And they say yes, because they're up for that challenge. They want to be part of something different, something that they can look back on and go, yeah, I did that. And the crews that lasted from day one to the day we wrapped had a real sense of achievement. They were some of the toughest people I've ever worked with. They were unbelievable. But and I think leading the actors in that regard and going, this is how it's going to be, and everyone just being up for the challenge, it's fantastic.
And we obviously, we know that we have a sequel here. Is there any past character that you would personally like to visit again as a sequel?
I'd have to go through the IMDb list. It's the first time I've been able to work with, it's our 4th film together, the 3rd as Rob as director.
Yeah.
I more look at the directors I work with and think it'd be amazing to team up with them again rather than my characters.
Yeah. So no Nugget 2 or anything.
You never know.
Oh.
I heard there was another big nugget found in the last week or so. Someone told me that gold fossicking's very, very popular. So who knows? I don't know how busy Dave O'Neill and Stephen Curry are, but you never know.
You heard it first here.
Yeah. Well, wherever you decide to go, I'm sure it'll be worth the trek. So just thank you so much again for what you did for cinema with The Dry and with this. So thank you so much.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Great.
Cheers.
Fantastic to see you.
You too.
See you.